Patricia, you're back from the red carpet, and as all I can say is wow. I mean, I was watching these girls just transform. It was
really fun to stand next to them. I could literally feel the changes in them. It was almost like being next to flowers that were kind of blossoming and coming out, and it was interesting. And somebody said to me once that if someone has that sense of presence and comes into a room, that it has kind of an infectious quality, that other people respond to that. And I really felt it with them standing next to them. I could feel their shoulders going back, and there was a brightness in their faces and their eyes, and as they began to see that they had control,
yes.
that they were in charge of who they were.
I mean, you don't know this because I spoke to Grace afterwards, and Grace just said to me, "Mum, wow," like she just said that was amazing, and Patricia was amazing. And to see her, just the way she was even holding herself when she said that, because on the other side, you had said to me before the cameras even came on, wow, like that you had noticed such a difference on the red carpet. So hearing it from you separately from Grace, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you. I mean, just how wonderful this has been for them.
Well, it's such a small thing, and now we have to think about how to get them to take it, not so it's one little moment on this red carpet, but how do you carry that with you and remind yourself so that it isn't, if you don't have someone standing next to you like that, you don't have the model next to you, how do you in your mind and in your head just say, okay, this is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. So I think that's the challenge for them next, is to say, okay, this is what I saw that day, and how do I apply that? And apply it in different situations. I mean, this was a controlled situation.
Yes.
You're out there you're surrounded by your peers, you're surrounded by people. Obviously, there's a very strong contingent that is trying to knock these girls down.
Yes.
And that group will always be there, as you and I know, in our lives. There will be those people who will try to say that thing that just gets to us. And we'll hear...
touches that button.
Exactly. We'll hear 20 positive things, and then the one that's the loudest is that one negative thing that we can rationally get rid of, but it sticks in there, and we keep gnawing on it. We keep thinking. So I think if I just hope, if there's anything, if they can just take one little kernel of that feeling of watching them just grow.
Unbelievable. Really special to watch, and just watch you work with them.
Well, I learned a lot.
It's terrific. I know Kaylin had asked you a question earlier that I know that we just didn't have time to get into today about, she wants to learn how to speak better, which is really terrific. And is there anything that you could say to us before we go?
I was really pleased that she asked that, and it was interesting that she asked it at the end after we had gone through the red carpet bit. And she said, okay, now I want to learn how to talk well. And I always think that if you learn how to speak well, if you learn how to write well, if you learn another language, basically you can work anywhere in the world. You can do anything. You just need reading well, writing well, speaking well. I had the great privilege as a young person. What I focused on was forensics. I was a public speaker, and so in high school I did extemporaneous speech and oration and debate, and it was a huge benefit, and I really encourage young people to do that, because I do think if you can speak well, if you can write well, and you read well, and you also speak another language, you can essentially get a job anywhere in the world. And I also think it gives you this tremendous sense of presence, and speaking well is so important. And I love that she asked the question about it, because she thought that someone with your accent, that sounded beautiful, and that was somehow more elegant. And what I was saying to her was that she has a beautiful American voice, but she can train that voice so that she can control the sound, she can control the pacing and the pausing, and she can pronounce the words correctly. one of the things, and I didn't mean to make fun, but when you begin to count the number of times that people say like in a sentence and they're completely unaware of it, it's just become part of our language here. And I think that we need to all be much more conscious of it, and especially young people, because it immediately signals something. It immediately signals a kind of laxness in speech. And so I think I wasn't allowed to swear when I was growing up. I wasn't allowed to be sloppy in the speech, and sometimes I'd get kind of irritated with that, but I'm actually very glad about it, because as my father said, he said certain words and certain phrases will distinguish you with people and will mark you in a certain negative way. And Gene was very particular, because he said you need to speak with a form of language and a style that is virtually universal, so that no one can really tell where I was born, and the words are spoken precisely. And I think that the young people, that would be the lesson, is begin to think about, listen and think how many times they're saying like. Well, like, that's like, it's like, and like,
I had my hand up when you said that earlier. I was like, no, that's something I do. But I know when I came over here from Australia, when I had to slow down my speaking, because I spoke so quickly and people couldn't understand me. So it's sitting at a dinner table and just saying, could I have some water? And I had to say it in so many different water. Could I, it's just, I had to really learn to slow down my speaking, which then made me sound a little bit more English to certain people's ear. So, but this has just been so wonderful, and I've really
Well, I think
learned.
that's really, I think what you're saying, it applies to them as well, because I think it is slowing it down. It's slowing down, it's pausing, it's collecting your thoughts. Just as much as you're collecting your presence, it's collecting what you're going to say. And if you're not sure about it, I think we try to fill space. I think we're very uncomfortable with silence. And we're rushing it. We rush it to get it out. We don't want to. We're uncomfortable. We kind of push it out. And the young people are. And when they pause and breathe and be comfortable, it's okay to be quiet for a minute and think. And then I think there are fewer ums that come, and fewer like, and just to be conscious of it, and just be aware of the words and choose the words. I think that's very important. So maybe we can catch up with them again and see how that's going.
Love to. Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure.
Really such an honor to have you here today.
I was
Thank you,
delighted.
Patricia.
It's